That when you optimize your energy, you can optimize your performance. And if you think about it, money is an exchange for energy, time, knowledge, and experience. And time, knowledge, and experience are all around energy. And your emotions are energy in motion. If your emotions are all over the place, if you're overthinking, if you're fearful, if you're worried, if you're getting anxious or annoyed, that means your central nervous system is a bit twisted. And that can mean that you could make the wrong decision in what you do. And then finally, M is meaning. And in terms of the meaning of life, what is that? Is that to make loads of money? Yeah, that's pretty good. You can help more people if you've got more money. But I think the true meaning of life for me is to find that definite purpose. Find what you truly love doing. Because if you love what you do, love the clients you serve, you're going to have lots of vibrant energy. And I truly believe that everything in life is energy. Thoughts are energy. Speech is energy. Thoughts lead to speech. Speech leads to actions. Actions leads to habits. And habits leads to destiny. So start with a positive thought, and you'll end with a positive destiny. And if anybody's interested, I've got my book outside. I'd be delighted to sign some copies. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Sometimes you can be the most intelligent person on the planet, have the best product or service on the planet, and if you can't communicate and present that out effectively, you might be the biggest secret on the planet as well. So that's where I come in. I might be able to help you in that presentation and communication skills, because I help people craft presentations to be able to stand on stage, give that speech, and leave that legacy. Now, in terms of mindset, as you can see, Forbes say, happier staff, 20% more productive. Happier salespeople, 37%. Not quite sure how they come up with that one. And then Fortune magazine showed the top 100 places to work for in terms of the happy factor. Their stock market returns in this period per annum was 14%, and those outside of it average only 6%. Now, I am a proper government-certified fund manager and a government-certified investment advisor. So when I saw this, I thought it was bullshit. So I actually had to look into it, and I looked. And the day before Thanksgiving, the day before Easter, the day before Independence Day, and the last 2 weeks of the year, in terms of the Santa rally, the stock market goes up 80% of the time. Because people are happy and they're positive, absolutely. The results that we get in life come from the actions we take. The actions we take come from the decisions we make. The decisions we make come from your habits, and your habits come from your mindset. In other words, how you think, how you speak, and how you act. Or if you're in a business, your culture, which is led by the leaders. So if you change the way you think, speak, and act, in other words, you change your personality, as Joe Dispenza says, one of my good friends, you'll change your personal reality. I'd love to know what energizes you. What gets you up? What lights you up in the morning? Anybody want to shout out? What do you enjoy doing? Anybody? Eating, love it. Coffee, love it. Energy, 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 love it.
Ticking something off the to-do list.
Ticking something off the to-do list, brilliant. So there's so many different things that really get us. And I was speaking yesterday over in the UK. One of the guys says he struggles to get out of bed for work, but when he goes to play golf at 6 a.m. on a Sunday, he has no problem getting out of bed. And I think that's the same with me when I was playing hockey. I used to play National League, Premier League hockey in Belgium, the UK, and in here in Ireland. And during that time period, I loved it. I had literally every single week, I had a sense of purpose. I had a goal to work towards. I would train constantly all the time. I would practice my little skills. I'd eat well, I'd sleep well. I'd make sure that I was, masterminding with the team. Having a look at the competition, what they're doing as well. And visualizing. I used to visualize, actually, when I was going to the matches. I was driving there, I'd visualize the centre forward, visualizing the right wing, going down the byline, putting it back to the top of the day, and me sweeping in the goal. And that particular season, when I scored over 30 goals, 15 of them came exactly like that. But the real reason why I put this slide up here is because I ask you all, do you do all of these for your job? Does anybody here? No. Very rarely do we have that sense of purpose, work towards goals, practice. Can you imagine if Ronaldo just practiced his goal scoring once a year? Or Tiger Woods just went to the driving range once a year? It doesn't sound so good. So it's important that we make sure that we're always preparing for our meetings and planning in terms of strategy for our businesses as well. Because what happens is in the diversity, like here today, we've got baby boomers, we've got Gen Zs, we've got millennials, we've got the full works here. And all of you come from different backgrounds. And that means that you see things in different ways. And that's why it's so important to have the enjoyment of taking different people into your organization, to have the different perspectives and the problems to give better solutions for the answers.
So as you can see, I have a few services there if anyone has a business. I do high performance sales training, leadership training, presentation skills training, performance optimization training, and workplace well-being.
Anybody else get nervous at times when they go on stage? A few people. Very good thing which I'm going to teach you is when you're a bit nervous beforehand, I went into the toilet and I put my hand on my heart and I said, I am Doug Gordon, I am my heart. Please let me connect the hearts of the audience in order to bless rather than impress. And what I'm doing there is intentionally speaking out loud, getting myself out of my head self, my ego self, where we edge God out, into my heart self, coming from a place of love. So I actually don't mind if I make a mistake, because all I'm trying to do is add value to you guys from a place of love. And ironically, what happens when you do that is you tend to speak more clearly and concisely, because you don't mind if you make a mistake. So hopefully today, I might be able to help you in some way or form. If you value what you have to offer and hang around with the right people, you can get some amazing results. And that's why for you guys, hang around with the right people. When I was in my investment world, I used to use the same presentation and go into a financial advisor and get £1 million, a stockbroker 5 million quid, an asset manager 10 million quid, a global banker 100 million quid, and one institutional pension fund manager in one deal gave me 285 million pounds sterling. And actually, if you guys are going into Dublin for a coffee, don't go to the local Starbucks. Pay the extra €5 or €10 and go to the Westbury or Shelburne, even better. Sit in that bar, you never know who you could be sitting next to. It could change your life. Engage with people, communicate with people, push your energy out onto people in a positive way and show true interest in them as well and watch the magic that happens. I went business class going from Dublin to London for a meeting, not because I'm big, as you can see, not because I'm flash, because I ended up sitting in the middle between two people, and the guy to my right was the CEO of Game On Media, David, and he got me into his business to speak to his guys for 45 minutes. So you never know, if you're in the right place, the right time, with the right people, you can create amazing results. What that actually does is it gives you a heartfelt intention or purpose to where you want to go. And that can be very powerful in terms of being able to connect with your heart self rather than your head self. Because when you're in your head self, you're in a place of ego sometimes, which I always say is edging God out. I love my acronyms. And when you get into your heart self, you come from a place of love. So if you're doing something that you truly love, you're going to enjoy it every single day. And that's why it's so important. So hopefully now we've got an idea in our mind of a sense of purpose, a direction, a why of where we want to go. But what quite often happens, as I'm sure all of you are aware, if I was to ask someone to come down, and I'd love to know, actually, anybody want to shout out any things that certainly sometimes get in the way between you and your goal? Anybody?
Beautiful women.
Sorry?
Beautiful women.
Beautiful women, very good. Anything other than beautiful women. He said beautiful women. Beautiful women. And anything else? Anybody else? Fear, exactly, fear. False evidence appearing real. Anything else? Sorry? Belief, exactly. Getting the lack of belief or the lack of knowing as well. The word belief has the word lie in it, so that's why I prefer the word knowing. Anything else? Lack of guidance, very good. Anything else? Procrastination, very good. Anybody else? Misunderstandings, absolutely. Fear of success. By the way, sorry, what was your name? Adam. Adam makes a very good thing there, actually. Misunderstandings. That's probably the biggest reason why we have conflict in the world. Because all of you here have your goggles on. You're all product of your parents, your preachers, your teachers, and past relationships and experiences. That means that you see the world in a different way than the other person. That's why men are from Mars and women are from Venus. And in terms of that, quite often you can be explaining to a colleague or explaining to a loved one something, and they just don't get it. Not have a clue what you're talking about. Obviously the nods there, right? We all get that. And normally it's just because you see things in completely different ways. The word relationship I break down into a ship. That means you need to put yourself and your partner, or yourself and your team, or yourself and your clients on board that ship, traveling in the right direction of what you're trying to achieve. But unfortunately what happens is, we also in that relationship word have a relay, which is conscious communication and active listening. And people forget that God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, and most people use them the other way around. So what we really need to do is make sure that we consciously communicate, relay our shuns, our expectations and our intentions. But what's the shun that most people use by mistake? Anybody? No, it's an assumption. When we assume, we make an ass out of you and me. So instead of making assumptions in relationships, the best thing to do is to ask questions. Exactly why I was talking to Adam's point in terms of the difference of opinions. The true meaning in life really is the 5 senses, which someone mentioned actually yesterday. The gift of being able to see the sun, the sea, the stars. To be able to hear the whistle of the wind or someone telling you that they love you. To be able to touch in terms of a hug or a kiss. Or being able to smell a rose. Or taste hopefully a bit of some wine or chocolate or something like that. And when you're truly grateful for the small things in life, it opens yourself to receive so much more. How many people have children here? How many people have ever given a child a present and the child hasn't been grateful? Do you feel like giving them anything else? No, of course you don't, right? So if you're not grateful for everything that you've achieved, the good and the bad in life, how can you be expected in terms of your subconscious mind to be able to receive anything else? So be truly grateful for all you have. But even when you get that inspiration, we still, especially as a guy is divorced, we still carry baggage at times. And they can be from triggers, traumas, and parental programs. Let's face it, the word parent and the word partner have exactly the same letters, except there's an extra R in partner. So it's almost like we're replaying the parent relationship over and over again. Oh, there's my dad again. Oh, there's my mum again, kind of thing. And what we really need to do is to be able to heal those inner traumas, those parental programs, so that we can create a love rather than a lesson in the next relationship.
And let's face it, when you're 94 years of age, looking back at your life, you're not going to look back at how much money you've made or how much wealth you've accumulated. You're going to look back at how many hearts you've touched. And that comes down to the simplest thing, as a kiss you give, a hug you hold, and a kind word that you pass on. So go out there and give as many kisses, as many hugs, as many kind words, and live a life of love with lots of vibrant energy. Thank you.
Everything I do is about energy, whether it's communication skills and teaching people to speak on stage, being paid to speak, or it's helping people in terms of mental wellness, where their thoughts have been playing against them.
What am I learning here? How can I grow from this? And how can I utilise what I'm learning to maybe help other people in some way or form?
Sold everything from stocks and shares, to bonds, to commercial property, to hedge funds, to private equity funds, you name it, I sold it. And I sold it to everyone from financial services to institutional pension fund managers. And I realised I was having a near-death experience.
At DNS Performance Optimization, our aim is to help you get more done in less time with less stress.
Personally, I feel fired up after it. I feel like I can take on the world, and I'd like to say huge thanks to Doug for that.
I came along to the Startup Summit tonight, run by Doug. Absolutely brilliant. The energy is fantastic. The information is perfect and on mark, and I think you should actually engage with this man because he knows what he's doing.
In fact, today my life has been changed. Thank you so much, Doug, for all the amazing lessons that you taught me today. I'm so glad. I see myself in you. I'm going to be a millionaire soon, so watch me.
Just been at Doug's event in Dunleary. What a great evening. I really enjoyed myself. The opportunity to really understand what inspires people, what motivates people, and to see Doug's energy was just fantastic.
I didn't know what to expect. I know Doug personally. I came here mostly for him. My God, did I get a big surprise from the very start. Wonderful.
Congrats, Doug!